And welcome back to part 3 of Dragonstar Varnir's Madness playthrough. Off screen I grinded up the madness a bit more, so we're closer to around 40% I want to say, looking at that. At least I hope. You know when you're starting to get far in your madness, not because of the liquid, but because there's a fire on the scale next to it. You see the pink fire? When that starts building up, you know you're starting to get away with it in your madness as we enter the Sanctuary Cave. I never would have guessed the cave was hiding behind this huge dragon bone. You never would have gotten in, even if you had guessed. There's magic cast on the bone that keeps all non-witches from coming inside. I hope she's in there. Should we look around here first? Wait, what's that on the ground? This hair accessory, it's Raruta's, I'm sure of it. We have to go inside. Come on, hold on Raruta, we're coming. If that's really hers, I wonder what caused her to drop it out here. Maybe they'd rather not talk about it, or think about the possibilities. While the Sanctuary definitely lives up to its name, this place is so mysterious. When they said this was a place only witches could enter, I really wondered what type of place I'd be walking into, but... yeah, beyond here, it's pretty bad. What do you mean? Why? This is where it happened, this very cave, the Carnival of Death. This place used to be gorgeous, but it's in ruins now. This again? Are they ever going to tell me what's up with the Carnival of Death? Vanessa, you okay? Yeah, I'm alright. You don't look alright. I'm fine. I'm not the one we should be worried about right now. I kind of disagree with that statement. She's clearly rattled about something. Hey, Vanessa, do you think you can get me up to speed on this Carnival of Death thing? Were you there, or... What the hell, you frickin' idiot? Why would you think you could just ask her that? You have no tact. Sorry. You can't blame him. A human wouldn't know a thing about it. He's just curious. Probably since we gave it such a crazy name, too. You're not wrong, but he should still know how to read the room. It's okay. I'd rather he ask about it instead of pretend it wasn't gnawing at him. It's not a fun story, Zephy, but if you really want to know, I can tell you about it. The hell I walked through a decade ago. It really was 10 years ago already. Of the 6 dens, the one at this sanctuary was definitely the biggest. More witches lived here than anywhere else in Varniria. I was a lot younger then. I didn't know nearly as much as I do now, and I used to live here. I learned about the history of the witches of Varniria here. I learned how to survive, and some could say I lived a quiet life. But then it came crashing down. A witch went mad. She had such devastating power within her, and she just lost it. A terrible, evil flame, unlike anything else in this entire world. It engulfed all 6 of the dens. I saw a literal hell unleashed before my eyes, right here in this very place. Ah! It's hard, it's so hard! Ah, please, please help! Burn! Burn! Witches have no place in this world! They should all just disappear! I'm going to burn every single one of them! Help someone! Please save me! And then the fire raged on. Over 100 witches burnt to death that night. And if you considered the treasure of life, you could say we lost much more than that. After the sanctuary was burned, no new life ever came from the Tree of Life. Not a single witch has been born from it. So the witches are born from this thing they call the treasure of life. I didn't expect all of this though. Who would have thought such devastation would happen without us knights even knowing about it? Somehow, I managed to make it out of there alive. I'm still here, thankfully. Lapinette and I were living in different dens at the time, but it's a miracle that we're alive too. Survivors took refuge in the den with the least damage, and that's how the one we live in now came to be. If I went through all that and someone mentioned the Witch of Hellfire to me, I would have been shaken up too. So, what became of her? Some say she was burned to death by her own flames. Some say she walked through those flames unconsumed. No one knows the truth. You were there, right, Vanessa? You don't remember what happened to her, where she might have gone? No, I don't. Never even saw her face. If I ran into her again, I wouldn't be able to tell if it was her or not. I see. Thank you for sharing this with me. If she's actually out there, we should avoid her as much as possible. Yes, you're absolutely right. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a barrier here that only witches can pass through. So, if you come inside and she's in there, the Witch of Hellfire will recognize you as a witch now. I understand. We should be ready to strike at any time. We don't want her to get the jump on us. You see anything in there, you kill it. I really like how you're so passionate, but please, let's pick our battles wisely, okay? Yes, don't forget that our top priority today is to bring Raruta back safely. I know that already, damn it. Good. Then let's look for her.
I got it.
I always wonder if this game had much greater of a budget and had like the time and resources that it should have got, if they would have demonstrated all of that in a cutscene and not Manessa just telling us and you going and not even having any of it voice acted. Because it's one thing that if you've been on this channel for a while, you know, I don't like voicing the screaming because I feel like I end up hurting it more than adding to it.
I'll do my best.
Like if it's an intense moment and a character's screaming, I tend to not voice it because I feel like me being silent and you just reading it will take away from the scene less than if I go kind of thing. Like I feel like if me screaming at it will just make it worse. Like I've relaxed into it a little bit over time, and on the odd days where like, because I live with other people as well, like if I'm completely home alone and I do it, then I tend to go a bit more into it.
Let's go.
Because I feel like I can. Like I feel like I don't have to worry about someone else overhearing me and going, what the fuck's going on? But I always wonder like what that would have been demonstrated and shown to us as my throat goes a little, if they actually had the budget and they actually had it. Like if they showed us a full cutscene of this carnage and devastation quaking the sanctuary. Because when you think that all of this was once a den, there's no remnants of it here. I know it's because it's been a decade, so it's not really gonna be. But they could have told a story in the scenery here and show you just how big the den in the sanctuary really was and just how much devastation was left in its wake. Also, at this point, I'm going to throw it out there now. I didn't realize I had the Saint Spear equipped on Karikaro, which is a DLC weapon. I completely didn't realize. I noticed it later on and unequip it because I looked down and went, because there's a point later on when we get into a fight and Karikaro does significantly more damage than everyone else, and I go, hang on a minute, something's not right there. Her back. Oh, we meet again. Oh, hello, best girl. How you been? You're... Oh, I haven't introduced myself, huh? I am the Witch of Hellfire. What? What? She's the one who did all that? She doesn't seem mad. That's impossible. I remember seeing your back and you don't look like her. Oh, does that mean you're a survivor of the sanctuary then? Yes, I am. I see. And here I thought I'd killed every last witch there. I suppose I wasn't thorough enough. You said my back looks different? How could you know that? It's been 10 years. You're probably just remembering it wrong. That can't be. You look nothing like her. Lapinette, what do you think? Well, she doesn't seem like she's gone crazy. I don't know. I'm not convinced she's mad. I was thinking the same thing, and she seems on the young side to be her too. It looks like everyone's a little stunned. Maybe I should continue the dialogue. Witch of Hellfire or not, am I correct in assuming you have no wish to fight us? Yes, you could assume that, for right now anyway. Okay, got it. Can we ask you something? Did you see a witch come by here earlier? She's a bit younger and, she's about your age. Yes, I saw her. Don't play with us, did you really? Yes, that girl was weak and went into the back of the cave. Weak? Yes, she didn't look too good. Has she been drinking dragon's blood? She seemed to be in pain, ravenous too. Hey, what happens when witches don't drink dragon's blood? They become voracious. Then they go insane. She hasn't eaten in a few days. There might not be a lot of time left for her. If she drinks too much blood, she turns into a dragon, but if not at all, then she goes mad? Is there no salvation for a witch? She's at the very tender age, you know. You should do a better job watching after her if you really care about her. But I guess it's too late for that now. I do believe you've run out of time, but I suggest you get to her as soon as you can. Alright, later. What? How could this have happened? If only I took better care of her. I don't think we have time to talk about that. If that witch is right, we need to hurry and find Baruta before it's too late. Yes, Manessa, let's go. We have to hope that we can reach her in time. You're right, I need to hang in there for Ruta's sake. Let's go. And now it tells you about Karikara's ability, which is still as baffling as I mentioned it last time, where there's no hidden treasures in front of you, so why tutorialize it now? Why didn't they do it in that first bit, where there's like a circle that just has a bunch in there? They should have tutorialized it there, so it's right in your face, but whatever.
I'll be taking that.
It's gonna be, that's probably gonna be the most painful thing for me, knowing that our main playthrough ended with us, like, falling in love with Charlotta and, like, dating her. I say canonically, because there's not a sequel to this game, so it's canonical as I want it to be. But, like, actually dating her at the end of it, and then this run with the Madness run, we are going to go very different directions with that. Because obviously, like, if you've watched the main playthrough, you know Charlotta's true intentions, you know what she's after and what she's trying to do. And I've mentioned it before that I am going to be spoiling a lot of the true path in this because it's a different path and we've already covered it. Knowing that Charlotta is looking for a replacement for the Dragon Star, it's going to be interesting to see how that goes down when she realizes that none of us are mentally stable. Like, it's not like before where, like, we were all confident and concentrated and found a way to find a way through even so. Like when Karikara fears that, because she's the oldest witch, that she's going to go dragonic soon. And then we all encourage her to carry on and we all go together. Like, how's that going to go different when we're not stable? Like, I'm interested to see how this is going to break down, and I am also really not looking forward to seeing the miserable end this becomes. It's part of the main reason why I keep on saying I'm probably going to do the true ending again after this playthrough. Like, after I've covered this and the normal ending, I'm going to show off the final end piece one more time, because I feel like I need to, for my sanity. But that's dependent, because I need to go through my saves, because when I transferred everything up to the cloud, I only transferred some of it. I transferred my Let's Play playthrough, I transferred a loose save that I left on the end of Chapter 10, so it's easy for me to get the normal ending, and I transferred over the clear save file that you need to have to be able to register New Game Plus to begin with. And that was it. I didn't transfer over my original playthrough, nor did I transfer over my just before the final boss save file that I left to show off the epilogues. So, we'll have to see. Because my PlayStation Plus is ran out like the other day as well, so I can't just retrieve it easily. If I have to do another playthrough, to be honest, I'll do it. I'll do it, just for the sake of getting to date Charlotta again. I'll do it. I'll just race through it. Because it will be nice to do again. There's no treasures here. And I'm pretty close to actually getting the Platinum Trophy for this game. I am missing Madness, Normal, hitting level 99, which I know how I'm going to grind that up. I just keep on, like, putting it to the side. And then the rest is, like, beat up Elixir Dragons so many times and make Elixirs so many times. Which you've seen me in the main playthrough do plenty of times, but it's like 50 you need to make. I mean, it's like 100 Elixirs and 50 dragons you need to kill. Like, it's quite a grind to get them, which is why they've been left behind for now. But then after that, that's it. I've got my Platinum. Which would be nice to get, because it's... like, the games I love, I always try and see if I can get all the trophies. Unless it's like, you know, well, I mentioned in Devil May Cry 5, I'm not going to Platinum DMC 5 because I don't care to S-rank all the missions and every difficulty when I don't enjoy playing as V. And there are other instances, like the Final Fantasy VII Remake. I never got around to getting the last enemy skill, even though I had enemy skill equipped and encountered that Marlboro and let it use Bad Breath on me like a million times, but for some reason it wouldn't register and give it to me. And I haven't beat the I forget what it's called, but the ultimate super boss you unlock in the data forms. When you're in the data arena, if you do all of them, you unlock a gauntlet where you fight all the summons in a row, including Bahamut, which Bahamut summons his own Ifrit as you're fighting him, which is baffling, but yeah, sure. And then you fight like the something and something prototype, like it's got like an extended name.
I'm on it.
But like, I haven't done that either. Like, they're the only two trophies I'm missing. I've got all 9 of the dresses, which was a grind and a half because that chapter is so goddamn long. It should have been split into 2 chapters, I swear, but it's just not, so it is what it is.
One step forward.
But yeah, there's like some of the games I really love I haven't platinumed, but I've got really close on. But I'd really want to platinum this because the only thing that's been stopping me is time. It's the grind to get it done. It's no like great challenge that I don't think I'd enjoy doing. It's just patience testing.
You're in the way.
And when you consider I've platinumed both Death End games, when I've made it clear I enjoy this more than Death End 1. Death End 2, I'd say, like, I kind of prefer over this, but there's certain things that this game does more in concept that I enjoy more than Death End 2. But Death End 2 has a lot of things that I prefer that over this for, so it's kind of like a balancing board between the two of them. Like, if this game, if being the key word, ever got a sequel, there's so much I would love to see it expand upon and do with. And as I mentioned in my main playthrough, the biggest fucking thing I want to do, because for me personally, it would help make it stand out more than all the other games that have social elements where you can choose who you date and whatnot, is canonize one of them. I don't care whose they canonize. I just want them to canonize the relationship and build a story around it. I don't care if they go for the box art girl, the main girl, Manessa, or if they go with the one that I have forever argued makes more sense of dating Charlotta. I don't care which way around they do it or how they handle it. I just want them to canonize Zephy dating someone, and we get to experience that as a part of their growth and the character. Is this where I realise? Is this where I realise I've got... Yeah, that's where I realised I had the Saint Spear on. I was like, hang on a minute, the damage I've been doing has been wild. It did way too much to make sense of what I've been doing.
This seems useful.
And I've mentioned it before, but I'd love... Like, if I was in complete control, my ultimate thing that I would do for a sequel is time skip a few years and then have us play as the little sisters. Obviously it'd have to be based on the true ending, which would tie into why you'd call a sequel Dragonstar Bendica. Even if it would spoil the first game a little bit, it would be a really clever name instead of just calling it Varnir 2, because Varnir's, you know, dead on the true ending, so, you know, it just make more sense. But I'm getting off topic.
Leave it to me.
Like, time skip it a little bit, play as like the three little sisters. I think it would be cute if the main character of the three was Monet. But I wouldn't be surprised, just because Monet is like the naive, innocent one, whilst Pio is the nerd of the team, and Chiquita is like the berserker, like more tomboyish one of the team. So I think that they could make that work with making Monet the main girl. Or just a new character that like becomes friends with those three kids. And so you still get your starting team involving them, and then later on involve the old team coming back. Especially because if they did a sequel, I don't know if they would bother, because Idea Factory, like, I don't know if they really had to ever tackle something like this, other than, say, like, the third NEP game. They've never done really costume changes for characters. Like, the third Neptunia game gave NEP a replacement for a dress, which I thought was quite nice. I liked the newer design. It looked a bit more modern and cleaned up. And in Death End 2, Sheena, if you get the free DLC,
This seems useful.
gets a different attire as well, and you can decide to give her her new attire or the old one, depending on what you prefer. And so it's not like they haven't done it before, but I'd like to see them give Zephy an actual witch attire.
Eat this.
Like something that you completely embraces the Witcher. Because for the entirety of this game, he sticks to the Knights of Requiem uniform, despite the fact one of the early cutscenes specified that his uniform was torn to shreds. So his witch markings were on display on his chest. The reason why they saw the witch markings wasn't because they lifted his shirt or anything. It's because his shirt was so torn to shreds they could see it.
I'll do this.
Leave it to me.
So the fact that then outside of it, you're just in the knight's attire for the whole thing, whilst everyone else is in these cool witch uniforms. It's like, oh come on, they could have done something more with that. Like, they could have given Zephy a proper, like, witch overcoat in costume. Like, give him, like they keep the fact that he's holy magic, so it needs to, like, match the colour scheme, because that's what they've done for every character. Every character's element matches their colour scheme, which is why Manessa's got a lot of blue, Karikara's got a lot of purple, Charlotta's, like, red and orange, etc, etc. Fairy is, like, the orangey, creamy, ground-looking brown colour. So, like, but instead of it, make, like, a big white overcoat. Make it almost, like, slightly scientisty, but make it have, like, ripped ends on the bottom of it, so it looks a bit more, like, folklore-y compared to the more, like, modern sciencey look he would have otherwise. And then just have, like, for a bit of, like, sex appeal, have the shirt missing, so it's got, like, the abs on display sort of thing. Since it's implied a lot in the story that he's built. He looks after himself, so they could have done something with that. But I'm getting off topic. It's a cutscene. I don't think it does. Look, what's in that pool of blood? This? Wait, it's a bone! Could she have been eaten? No, look closer. That's not a human bone. What? Are you serious? I think it belongs to a dragon. Wait, then that means that someone was eating dragon meat and heading into the back of the cave. Oh. It looks like someone just made an appearance. Be careful. I'll take this beast out, no problem. Wait! What if this is Raruta? What? What if she ate a dragon's meat and just turned? No, Vanessa, this dragon isn't her. But Bennett, are you sure? Did you look? Yes. The dragon, she lost all of her friends in the Carnival of Death and then lost her will. I see. I'm glad it isn't her, but it's still our former sister nevertheless. Glad isn't the right word. Hey, what was that about? Does she know this dragon? No, Lapinette just looked. What does that mean? Lapinette has clairvoyance. She is able to predict the tragedy that will come to those who she's touched. She can look at a dragon and see their former witch name, the kind of person they were. She can even see their memories. Wow, that's a pretty convenient ability. You will never understand how this feels. Huh? What do you mean? Hey, shut up! It's coming. Yes, party formation. You equip someone. Well, not equip. You put someone in the reserve. They will help out that person. Time for the Earth Dragon. Another dragon that will refuse to let you devour it. It feels like you have to really fight to get it, and it just won't let you have it sometimes. Even though its percentage will go up, so you should really theoretically be allowed. But I say that it is a much higher level, so maybe that has something to affect it as well. I've never really looked too much into it to work it out, because this thing is level 33. Which I think it does actually have its level bumped up slightly as well, because of the difficulty. Which makes me wonder what it's like on Inferno. Or at least Expert. Because, you know, Expert you don't have access to as soon as you start the game. Expert is unlocked upon your first completion. So I've always been kind of curious, like, if it's a New Game Plus difficulty, or just a harder difficulty. If you're wondering what I mean, Shin Megami Tensei 4 is a good example of this. Shin Megami Tensei 4, when you beat the game, you unlock hard. If you go straight into New Game Plus, carrying over all your levels, all your demons into hard, the game still rips your head off. Because it's built for you, it's built expecting you to come in at like level 99 with all your demons. But at the same time, it's also kind of balanced in a strange way where you can make it work and get through it off a fresh file. Like, if you start at level 1 without the compendium and everything, you still can overcome the odds. It's just balanced to an extent as well, where it will challenge and punish you at level 99 additionally. And I've been curious with this being a New Game Plus difficulty with Expert, even though I'm playing on hard, whether it's a similar deal there, whether that will be expecting you to come in at a high level or not. And then Inferno just be the one that takes the biscuit at the very tail end. But that being said, that's about it for what I wanted to do in this part. So I'm going to be spending the rest of this video going through my Dragon Cores and upgrading everyone and reassigning abilities before we wrap up. Because next time will be when we discover if I am indeed above 15%. Because it doesn't tell you until you hit the cutscene, and after this boss fight, we'll be at the end of Chapter 2, where you see the first glimmer. We'll also have a choice, because we'll have the whole choose to put trust in Charlotta or choose not to, and we'll actually get to go with the choice that makes the most reasonable sense in the context of, she just said she's this mass murderous dragon, like dragon slayer monster madness woman who burnt down a sanctuary or whatnot. Why would we trust her? But that adds madness if you would question that, so you have to trust her to like get the true ending. But we will be going down that other route, and it will add more madness. Ideally, I want to hit 40%. Well, I need to hit 40% before the end of Chapter 4, because that's the next bridge, that's the next line. But I want to hit 50%, just because then I know I've hit 50%, because you can see with the bars in the middle. But trying to work out if it's like precisely at 40% when it's a circular bar to begin with isn't as easy. And so if I can get it up to 50, then I'll know I'm good. Because every benchmark after that I can get easily with the kids. Because every time a child dies, it adds 25% guaranteed. So, since we're going for the madness route, none of those kids are living. Which means we'll be getting 3 more unique boss fights because they will go and turn into dragons, but still. Which is going to be miserable when we get to those boss fights, and I'm not looking forward to it because I don't actually know when those boss fights show up. Like, I've got a sneaking suspicion I know when they might show up. But when the game presents it to you, it just says will show up along your adventure. And I'm like, okay, that tells me it could be sporadic then. What I think it'll be after chapter 10. Like, once you do the fight against Corberia, and that, because as I've mentioned before, the interlude between 10 and 11, the moment Corberia goes down is the moment it locks in your ending. So I think that's when you'll fight the witch children that have been lost, because that will be after you're locked into whatever route, but I honestly don't know. It might be scattered throughout the main adventure that we will encounter these 3. But either way, we're just about finished on cleaning up and upgrading. As you can tell, I haven't put as much into Kerikaru because once again, I want Charlotta on my team. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Next time on Dragonstar Varnir, we're going to attempt to save Veruta. But until then, you guys take care now. Peace.